in today's society, we're obsessing over beauty and what is perceived to be beauty. And beauty is a perception. That's all it is. It's evolving, it's ever-changing. It isn't a definite thing. And it's how you perceive beauty. And there's so many different types of beautiful and definitions of beauty out there. So for someone to tell you that you're not beautiful or they don't think you're pretty, it's completely meaningless. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Once upon a time, there was a girl who lived in a tower. Not a tower of stone, but one built of hospital walls, endless treatments, and a body the world told her should remain unseen. But she refused to hide. She let down her golden hair and with it, her story, her wheelchair, her struggles, and her victories. The world climbed eagerly into her life, crowning her an inspiration, a modern-day Rapunzel who had broken free from the shadows. For a while, it seemed like her tale might end in happily ever after, but every fairy tale has a darker chapter, and in this story, the princess who once inspired thousands has become the villain in her own tale, accused of betrayal, exploitation, and now facing a felony charge. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we're talking about Wheelchair Rapunzel. So when I first started digging into Wheelchair Rapunzel, aka Alex Dacey, I really thought this was going to be a typical influencer arc. Rise to fame pretty quickly, not be able to handle it, and then a hard downward spiral into drama and scandal. But when you dig back into her social media history, she has had controversy for majority of the time. And when she didn't, when you read into it, there are multiple hints and red flags of problematic behavior.
Potentially problematic.
She's just toxic.
Alex is a 31-year-old from Chicago who is a disability advocate / influencer. Now, Alex has SMA, which is spinal muscular atrophy. SMA is a genetic disorder that causes your muscles to become very weak and eventually waste away. Now, there are medicines that can be taken to help slow this down and even, I think, reverse some of these effects. It'll never go away. There is no cure for it, but there are medicines that do help. So this is how Alex got her start of being an influencer. She started posting mainly on Instagram about her disability, trying to raise awareness, and it all seemed pretty good at first. But if you go through all of her posts, which I went through quite a bit of them, almost every single one starts with her being disabled.
You are not paralyzed! I am so paralyzed!
And you could say that she was just trying to use her platform for good and to bring awareness to her disability and to be a voice for people with SMA, but other people would say that this was inspiration porn. I do think this could be debatable because it seems like the actual definition of inspiration porn is when it's able-bodied people trying to use disabled people as inspiration and not a disabled person using their own circumstances as inspiration. But you could make the argument for it because it was almost every single post.
Hey guys, I have a disability. I don't know how relevant that is to what I'm about to say.
Why did you say it then?
But I just want to give a shout out to all the super attractive men on here. Men, I mean boys. Men and boys, whatever.
Oh, we'll be getting to that pretty soon. Don't worry. And that goes into her Instagram, to her TikTok, to her YouTube, things like that. And you could make the argument that it's clickable. Also, like her actual real life, she is disabled doing these things. So you guys check out her socials and let me know in the comments what you think. So this is the very first post that she ever made on Instagram. Well, on this page, she actually references another page in this post, but I haven't seen it, so it must have been deleted or something. She talked about struggling to find a job, so it kind of seems like she couldn't find a job, so she decided to put more effort into her social media.
So you're internet famous now?
In the beginning of 2018, most of her posts were what you would expect from a disability advocate / influencer. She talked about the struggles that she had, showed some things from her childhood, and even during this time, she launched her own merch line, which actually had some pretty cute items. As the year went on, you start to see her post get a little bit more suggestive. She starts to talk about sex more and showing her body off a bit more, and honestly, I don't really have a problem with this. I really think at the time it made sense. You know, it was her channel. She chose how she wanted to represent herself and to represent her community, saying like, hey, just because I have this doesn't mean I'm not a sexual person. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And a lot of people didn't either. If you go into the comments, majority of them are very supportive of her.
Yes, queen. Ironic.
Now, it was the end of 2019 to 2020 when she started posting on TikTok, which I think exposed more of her problematic behavior with videos like this. I obviously can't put in the audio because of copyright stuff, but there's not any of her talking, so there is a chance that she's saying excuse me, but you can see to that dude right there, she pretty much ran into him and it looks like she did it on purpose. I know this was a big video to make her go viral because people were just like, what the heck are you doing? Just because you're disabled doesn't mean you get to be rude. And this video right here where she decides to confront a woman coming out of the bathroom stall for being in the disabled stall. So it is the general rule, if you don't need that stall, just don't use it. But in this case, one, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to record somebody coming out of the bathroom or in the bathroom. But two, you don't know why she chose to use that stall. Maybe the other two stalls were full. Maybe she has some back problems. Maybe she just decided to use that stall. I'm sure if her and this woman went into the bathroom at the same time, this woman would not have gone to the stall. And I just feel like this is a really good example of her being more exposed of not being a very nice person.
Because you are a mean girl. You're a bitch.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are her GoFundMes. From what I could personally find, it seems like she's had a total of 3 GoFundMes. The first one was in 2019. Honestly, there isn't really any controversy around this one. It seems like it was for a repair on her wheelchair. It was a relatively small amount of money. She actually made over what she was asking, and I'm assuming the wheelchair was fixed. Now, the next one was in 2020, right around the time she moved to Miami. She made the GoFundMe to buy a new wheelchair accessible van.
We're doing this!
Man, you promised me a pimped out
No!
ride.
We're doing this!
And
Now!
do this anymore. Make it like
Yeah!
you
Oh, fuck! This is your fault!
Didn't you make this piece of shit, man?
Oh, we're pointing fingers now. Okay.
You
which like would be an absolute dream for me to have a van where I can park my wheelchair in the passenger seat so that I can feel like a part of things and like it's my van and have like autonomy, you know, that good. So we received a quote on that one. It was 2012, and it is $35,000. So this affordable one that would be like a possibility for me is $35,000 total, which I cannot afford. The monthly payment on that would be like really high and something that I just couldn't afford. So yes, I am currently fundraising to be able to afford that van. And that's just something a lot of disabled people have to do is crowdfund for accessibility and disability.
Her goal was $35,000. She ended up raising $14,000, but no new van was ever bought. At least none that she showed to social media and none that I could find personally.
Something seems fishy.
And she ended up moving to Miami pretty much during this exact time. So a lot of people felt like she took this money and ran. Now, there is a third GoFundMe that she has done this year, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So just put a pin in this. So when she was living in Miami, she did have a couple of roommates.
Well, just keep your voice down. My roommates are sleeping.
You mean your parents?
Yeah, same thing.
And this was Mikey and Andrew. Now, because of her SMA, she does require full-time caregiving. So Mikey was not only her friend, but her personal assistant and her caregiver.
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Mikey and Alex have known each other since high school, so they actually have a lot of history together. But Alex met Andrew on Tinder, of all places. When Alex started featuring Andrew on her channel, information came to light on how he is actually a charged SA'er.
Oh, snap.
So according to this article, he was charged with SA in September of 2016 on a college campus. But not only this, but he was a suspect in multiple other SA investigations. And one of them, the only reason that charges weren't pressed is because the victim did not want to be interviewed. Now, eventually, a couple years later, the case was dismissed and the files were sealed, which I find kind of interesting. Now, according to Alex, she had no idea about any of this information, and when she was made aware of it, this was her and Mikey's reaction on a live.
Say,
I don't know.
like, what victims? Like, what are their names? Give me their numbers.
Yeah.
But again, don't, because it has nothing to do with me, so.
Right.
Like, why would I have anything, like, you know
Like, what would you
saying?
want her to say?
Yeah.
What should we do about it?
Okay, so this is something I quite literally just noticed in the comments or in the chat of their live. It says, you said 1K and you would address it. So I don't know if that means like 1,000 likes or 1,000 more followers or just 1,000 followers in general. But either way, if that's true, that is disgusting. Like, oh my God, give me more engagement and give me more money. And then maybe I'll talk about how my roommate is an accused SA'er. That's just gross to me. Like, oh my God. I don't know if that's true. I just saw it in the comment and the same person makes that comment multiple times. I don't see other people making it, but if it's true, just ew.
Someone said vegetable and a fruit.
Vegetable and a fruit. Or the perfect combo.
What do you want me to address? I addressed everything I know.
Yeah.
Addressing number 1, he was not convicted of anything. Number 2, this situation has nothing to do with me. Number 3, I do not support whatever predators or whatever the hell bullshit you guys are saying, because it's just not true. So that's my address.
I mean, what you need to address, Alex, is how you're housing and making content with a sexual predator. And not only was she making like TikTok content, it is alleged that she was also making OnlyFans content with him. Now, for a long time, that was the only address she had given about the situation until 2023, when she made a YouTube video titled, "What Actually Happened with Andrew and Mikey."
I got like semi-canceled for, in essence, defending him. And it was like, it wasn't like a video, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, I basically made a comment on a TikTok or said something on a live that essentially semi-defended him, apparently. Like, what victims? Like, what are their names? Give me their numbers. Shortly after that, I didn't live with him anymore. I was like, hey, like, you have to leave, blah, blah. So he left, and he moved with, like, I don't know, some girl, whatever. I haven't seen him since. But after that, like, cancellation started. That's when I essentially was losing brand deals because people would like message the brands I was working with saying that I support like Andrew Hahn and he is like an SA'er and he committed SA and like I support that, which I absolutely do not. I believe that any victim has the absolute right to speak up and tell their story and share their story. And at the time, if I said anything that came off as victim blaming or was victim blaming, I deeply apologize. He was not convicted of anything. This situation has nothing to do with me. That was not my intention at all. I was just in such a bad space, which is an excuse. And I was honestly scared and just confused.
I was victims.
Keep believing, keep pretending.
Shortly after that, I didn't live with him anymore. I was like, hey, like, you have to leave, blah, blah. So he left, and he moved with, like, I don't know, some girl, whatever. I haven't seen him since.
In this video, she kind of makes it seem like she was peer pressured into getting onto OnlyFans.
Damn it, peer pressure, fine.
And then when she was on there, she was like, oh my God, look how much money I'm making. And because of all the controversy with Andrew, a lot of the brands that she was working with, which was a lot of her income, went away. They dropped her.
My life was, like, spiraling down. I was losing brand deals because I had this, like, huge, I don't even know if I can say this on here, I might be binded to a contract, but I was working with, and I had, like, an ongoing, like, 3-month contract with them. So, like, I would sign a 3-month contract. After those 3 months, I would sign for another 3 months. And they were paying me, like, well, and that was a lot of my income. I lost, like, other brand deals. I can't even remember. This was, like, what, like, a few years ago. And so then I was basically just surviving on OF money.
So then OnlyFans became her main source of income. So in this same video, she addresses the falling out she had with Mikey as well.
And living with Mikey was just toxic. He was extremely messy. And I was paying him to, like, be my caregiver, and a lot of the times he would be like, I was drinking, I'm not gonna, like, I was not a saint. I was doing fuck shit. I was, like, partying, but when he was, like, on duty caregiving, like, he would be, like, wasted, high, on, like, anything, really, anything he get his hands on. He, like,
Alex has a pattern with her caregivers where she doesn't want them to be actual caregivers. She wants them to be her friend. She wants them to party with her. And so it is not surprising to me when she says, like, he was probably doing drugs, he was drinking, because it seems like she was also doing those things. So they were just enabling each other's bad behavior.
Enabler.
Okay, so Mikey not only was her caregiver, her personal assistant, but she also had him manage her OnlyFans.
We were talking, me and Mikey, and I was like, yeah, if you manage the page for me, I'll pay you, like, $800 a month. And so for the first, like, month or two, he was pretty good about it. Like, he would message people back. He would, like, I did a lot of it too, though. He wasn't, like, the only one doing it. Basically, he would just answer messages for me, and I would pay him $800 to just answer messages. And he's saying that he, like, took all my content. Like, he took content for me, but, like, that's a part of being an assistant. Like, that wasn't part of, like, the OF gig. At the time, I wasn't even really posting that much, so, like, he would take one photo of me. It took, like, 10 minutes, and, yeah, I was paying him $800.
So she's saying it was 10 minutes of work for one picture for $800 a month. But let's get real. That's not true. She cannot get dressed herself, bathe herself, do her own hair. She can somewhat do her own makeup. She cannot get herself into the right positions. Okay? Like, come on, that was not 10 minutes of work. Especially if she's doing like a lingerie shoot. If she's just naked, I mean, I guess that's one thing. Then you're just getting her undressed. Now, I don't know what other type of content they filmed on there or how much content they filmed on there. But the fact is, it was not 10 minutes of work. It was a good amount of work. And $800 a month, I mean, granted, that was on top of his caregiving of whatever she was paying him to do that. But $800 a month is not enough to live on. Now, I'm not saying that she should have been paying him more because I really don't know what she was paying him besides what she just said here. My point is, I just think she is way underrepresenting the amount of work that probably went into running her OnlyFans for her.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
So in the beginning of 2022, Alex actually hard launched Noah as her boyfriend. And with Noah in the picture now, that seemed to step on Mikey's toes quite a bit. He started taking on Alex's daily care routines and also Mikey's personal assistant responsibilities.
So I started dating Noah. And Mikey was very jealous. Like, I was spending more time with Noah when we first started dating than Mikey. So Mikey was, like, jealous. Like, I was, like, not giving him my time. I wasn't giving him my money. Like, instead of taking out him to eat, I would take out Noah to eat. And not even that, we were dating, so Noah would, like, actually buy my meals. And Mikey did buy some of my meals, but the majority of the time it was me paying. So when I started hanging out with Noah and dating him, like, Mikey got pissed, and Mikey has gone on to say all this shit about Noah, and, like, he's a drug addict, he's this, he's that. The whole time Mikey knew him, Noah was sober, absolutely 100% stone cold sober, and the one thing that Noah told Mikey was, like, hey, like, can you please just, like, not smoke weed around me? Like, it's triggering, like, it's okay if you guys drink, but, like, just, like, please don't smoke weed around me because, yeah, it's, like, triggering for me. And Mikey was, like, smoked weed pretty much every single day, and he always had, like, a dab pen, and he had, like, friends that would just, like, supply him with, like, edibles, dab pens, whatever. So Mikey basically would smoke weed, like, in Noah's face and, like, not give a shit. And
after months of tension building between the three of them, it came to a head when they went to a convention, I believe, in California. Well, they went from Florida to California, back to Chicago. This girl goes back and forth between Florida and Chicago a lot. It's kind of hard to keep up.
Oh, I'm getting dizzy.
I had to get in between them, stop it, and, like, this was after months of Mikey being, like, so mean to Noah, and Noah finally had it. So he's like, Noah's like, you know what, like, I'm gonna stand up for myself. So Noah, like, Mikey was being a dick, and Noah got in his face, and, like, they were about to go at it, and I was, like, starting to get heart palpitations, and I am paying for this entire trip for all three of us. We went to Santa Monica, Anaheim, went to LA, then we went to Chicago. I was paying for the majority of this trip, all the Airbnbs, the flights, the food, and Noah was caregiving for me at the time. And I told Mikey, hey, if you do my caregiving on the trip, I'll pay for your trip. And he barely did shit for caregiving, and I still paid for his trip, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna pay you back for my flight and this and that. Nope, that never happened. After that, I'm like, no, I'm canceling this flight. After you guys almost duked it out, like, I'm crying, I'm trying to have a good time, like, I had family shaking me on at the time, and I'm paying for everyone here. This is complete bullshit. I'm not flying back with him.
So on this trip, she actually canceled his flight back home. So according to him, he was stuck in Chicago. And according to her, in retaliation for this, he tried to blackmail her and also tried to deactivate her OnlyFans account, which was her only source of income.
Not cool, bro.
So Mikey had started talking about her a lot on the Reddit page that has actually been recently taken down. So I'm not able to find any of those, unfortunately. So that is what prompted her to finally make this video and address things mostly. It feels like in this video she's putting a lot of blame on everyone else and some blame on herself. Like she's saying, well, I was drinking, I was doing all this because I was living with toxic people and I was escaping their toxicity.
Pot meets the kettle at last.
But honestly, she is an alcoholic and she has been struggling with this for a very long time. Even in her very first Instagram post, she puts, I was indulging in booze more than what was healthy, especially for my little body, and eventually caught up with me. And this post was in 2017, like right after she graduated college. And from what I've heard in like little bits from her stories, she heavily drank in college as well. Now, this comes into play because when she met Noah, he was actually in recovery. In this video, they do a cute little song thing, that TikTok trend they were doing for a bit, on how they met, which of course there is copyrighted audio in it, so I cannot put it in. But when they started talking, he was actively in rehab, and then when he got out, he was in a halfway house and then got kicked out because of Alex.
The red flag.
It just seems like once he got kicked out of the halfway house multiple times, he just moved in with her. So maybe Mikey wasn't so much jealous of Noah as he was worried about how quickly the relationship was moving.
That's a big maybe.
Which only continued to move at hyperspeed because they were only dating for 7 months when she announced that she was pregnant.
Oh my god, all three of them say yes, dude. I was all planning this, oh my god.
It seems like Alex announced this pregnancy very early, especially considering her situation. She does put in here that she had to stop her medication that helped reduce the effects of SMA for her. This medication had actually been pretty life-changing to her. She had a hard time eating, breathing, and everything before. This medication really helped her be able to do all of that and gain a little bit of independence. She called it her twerk juice, and she posted many videos of her taking it. But people started to speculate on if this pregnancy was even real because she waited a long time before she went to an OB. In fact, she even opened a registry before she even went and fully confirmed that she was pregnant.
We're going to do a baby registry haul from all the items that we have received so far. We have more items on the way, but I'm going to show you guys the stockpile that we currently have.
It was just really shocking to people to see her not only post it so early, but to not immediately get started on healthcare for her and the baby, especially considering she had to stop that medication and her physical health went downhill very quickly. At one point, she made a post saying she couldn't even drive her wheelchair anymore. She was so fatigued. She did go though, and the pregnancy was confirmed and the baby was healthy, though she was high risk, and I think she had to be hospitalized a couple times during the pregnancy.
Alright, we have been in the ER for like 5 hours. It could look like I was having pneumonia, definitely had a UTI, and it's turning out that some of my electrolytes are a little bit off, and I just have a UTI, so. Alright, I'm here getting my lovely iron infusion, but check out the color of this iron, like, this is literally going into my vein. Is that weird? Like, it's literally looks like blood. Yay! 28 weeks at one day, you guys might notice I wear my mind pack. So I was feeling a little bit weird. My doctors warned me that this is going to happen. My oxygen was down a little bit. So as soon as I put this on, I started feeling better. So this might mean a few things, that delivery might be sooner than later. But for right now, I'm going to have to wear this lovely machine to make sure I'm getting enough oxygen. And this might be the start of like the lung decompensation that they were warning me about, so we're trying to keep a positive attitude, but this is going to be my new look.
She continued to do OnlyFans throughout her pregnancy, which obviously rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and rubbed a lot of weirdos the right way. Not to say that if you're attracted to her, you're a weirdo. I'm just saying, like, you'll know what I'm saying, okay? She's pregnant. She's disabled. It's a lot going on.
It is what it is.
Now, there were a few complications with her pregnancy, but for the most part, it went pretty smoothly. Now, she did have to give birth early, and it was via a C-section.
And we're about to have this baby. I just talked to Noah, and it was emotional, but we're just so excited to be parents in like an hour. She was going to be like out.
But Noah was not present for the birth because he was in rehab again. Now, the baby was in the NICU for about 3 weeks, and apparently during this time, Alex was spotted at a nightclub.
In the club, we all fam. In the club, we are all family. Are you racist?
This is the picture that I found. There's obviously no way to fully confirm that it is her. I mean, it kind of looks like her, but also it's no way to confirm the timing on it as well. So I'm just putting this information out there. So now we are going to talk about the numerous times that Child Protective Services has been called on her and Noah. Each state calls it something different. I believe in Illinois it's DCFS, and then Florida it's DCF. I'm probably just going to say CPS just because it's what I know, but no, that's what I'm talking about.
The day after I brought her home from the NICU, I got a call from someone, and I had no idea who it was. They put me through to this man, and he was like, oh yeah, like, I'm with DCFS, and I just have like a few questions for you. And automatically, I was completely taken aback by it, and I was like, what do you mean? Did someone call on me? And he said yes. I was like, this is complete BS. Like, who called? Like, I have an online presence, and this is probably a troll. And I was just very upset. But I was like, yeah, you can come over whenever. I'm willing to cooperate, but yeah, this is BS. I just brought my daughter home from the NICU yesterday, and I'm already having to go through the process of having someone invade my home and my privacy. So I say, I have nothing to hide, whatever, come over and let's get this over with.
So basically that first call was just for them to show up and make sure that they were capable of taking care of this baby.
I stole the baby! I stole the baby!
I honestly don't disagree with them doing this, just because of the logistics of the situation. She is disabled, so she honestly, physically cannot take care of this baby. She cannot take care of herself.
Just being honest.
Noah's freshly out of rehab, and he has BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. Basically, it's a mental illness that can cause you to have some pretty major mood swings. That's defining it in the simplest of terms. Now, that is not to say if you have BPD that you cannot be a good parent. But it is to say if you are not taking the proper steps and possibly on medication if that is right for you and keeping his sobriety in check, that means he may not be able to parent this baby. So again, I do not think this initial check was a bad thing.
The second time this guy came, I think it was like a week later, he knocks on my door and it was like a Friday or Saturday and it was 11 p.m. So we're in bed, like already sleeping. This guy, he was very like abrasive and he said, there was an emergency call made. Apparently someone said that we had dropped Ari because in one of my videos she has her little red strawberry on the back of her head, which is essentially a birthmark. It's a hemangioma. So she was born with it. She has a few of them and they grow away with age. And we're like, at this point, I'm like pissed because I'm like, all right, I thought this was over. Now someone here is coming to my house from someone on the internet saying that we dropped her on her head because she has a birthmark on the back of her head. This is ridiculous. Because after the first visit, I contacted a lawyer just to make sure everything was going to be okay. I was very scared. Basically, my lawyer was like, they don't have to answer anything. Like, this should be you and your lawyer first, this and that. So anyways, he basically left and that was that. But me and Noah were extremely shaken up by all of this happening.
Now, I know she has palm trees behind her in this video, but all of this happened while she was still in Chicago, again, like fresh out of the NICU. She just didn't post a video about it till like months later. Now, a few weeks later, there was another call made on them.
Someone else came on an emergent call. It was that Noah and I had gotten into an argument about co-sleeping with Ari, and that I like ran into him with my wheelchair, which never happened. It never happened. And for someone to say that, they would have had to have been in my apartment to even make up a lie like that. We're like, okay, this is clearly bullshit. So I cooperated with this woman from DCFS, and she was pretty chill, and we told her, like, yeah, like, this is under, like, consolidation, this case with our lawyer, and, like, this has happened multiple times. Yeah, you can come look at Ari. And she's like, all right, left. Some time went on, and every day it was this big what if. We need to make an emergency care plan, and you're approved to DCFS, all these different things. And I'm like, my mind is just like, what do I do? I'm just going to do whatever I have to do to make sure that I can keep my daughter. So eventually, we got letters in the mail that our case was dismissed. I forget what they call it. The case was dropped and we were deemed like fit to be parents.
According to her, she spent like $15,000 on a lawyer just to have on retainer in case something happened. Honestly, I don't know how any of that works. That just feels like a lot to pay to have someone like on hand, just to have them like on hand in case something happens. Apparently they did meet with them multiple times, but yeah, I don't know, it feels weird. That feels like maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it could not be. I mean, I know lawyer fees can rack up, I guess. Now, as to the reason for this call, yeah, either it was someone who completely made it up, or maybe there was like a live they were on at some point and they heard them arguing. Personally, I have no idea. I haven't seen any videos to corroborate this or whatnot. It could have been somebody like in their personal life as well. But if this was just like a viewer, I'm pretty sure unless they were on live or something, this was just something made up to get people in there. Okay, so these reports happened like March, April of 2023. And the next time that CPS was called, I'm assuming was the very end of October to super early November of 2023, based on when this video was posted.
Whatever, DCFS came here again. I think that was 2 days ago. And I was like, we both looked at each other because we're like, I can't believe this is happening again. So what now? What now? So she's like, so essentially the report said that there was a video of Noah making a pit bull fight baby Ari. Huh? Say what? What'd you say? What? So she's like, what video they could be talking about? And I was like, Yeah, probably this like live video. We were on TikTok live, and Ari was on the couch with Noah, and Addie was on the couch as well, which is Noah's dog. That is certainly not a pit bull. And Addie always gets like jealous around Ari, so she's like trying to like get in there and play with them, and she had like her bone in her mouth, like, play with me too. And on the live, people were like, oh my god, someone needs to call Child Protective Services. That dog is like resource guarding. And I'm like, what in the fuck is that? Resource guarding? The dog has a damn bone in its mouth because it's a dog and it's like wanting to play.
So I tried my darndest to find this video because I have stated in other videos I have a lot of animal experience and have worked with animals for a very long time. So I feel like I would be pretty confident in saying if the dog was playing or if it was resource guarding.
This is Gia, dog behavior expert at Thinking Canine, and resource guarding is one of the most common issues that dog owners may face. But what is it? Resource guarding is when a dog uses aggressive behavior to keep control or possession of a treasured item. And a treasured item could be anything from their food to a bone to a tissue or your couch. This is a behavior that can be very dangerous because some dogs, instead of just growling when they're guarding, move to biting. So this is a behavior that we want to work on right away when we see it.
Now, this is a really good example of resource guarding with a baby, and just watching this video stresses me out. So again, this was not her baby and the dog. I could not find that video. This is just an example of what that could look like. And if you happen to see that live and saw it and it looked like this, then it was definitely resource guarding. And you can see in this video, he snaps at that baby. He does not bite down, but he does snap, and it can change to biting down very quickly. And if you have a dog that resource guards and you don't know how to handle that or retrain them so they don't do that, then you just need to keep the kids away from the dog when they have their stuff. That is just going to be the easiest way. Or even consider rehoming the dog. I was reading through Kiwi Farms around when this happened, and a lot of people on there were saying how they were upset about the false reports because when there is something that's going to happen, they're not going to be as willing to investigate, I guess you could say. So it seems like this was either a troll or someone just over exaggerating to try and get somebody in there yet again, with the main evidence being that that dog isn't a pit bull. And again, I'm not exactly sure which dog it is. I think it's this white fluffy one that's like a Spitz or something. That's not a pit bull. Okay, so now we are moving on to the next time CPS was called, which was in December of 2023. So this all happened very close together.
I showed up to the house again. From another TikTok troll. And this time it was for medical neglect because of Ari's eye. In videos that I've been posting, like, you could see that she has a little bit of like a red irritation around the eye, and in the report it was false because one, these people are making it because they have a vendetta against us. Two, it said that she doesn't have a pediatrician, which just isn't true at all. I don't know why this person or these people are doing this. Probably because they have no lives and are like really sad fucking human beings. But you know what? We took her to this like child protection like appointment. Basically they just asked a bunch of questions, examined her. In the report insinuating she had a black eye, and people were leaving comments on my videos like, oh my god, Ari has a black eye, and she clearly doesn't have a black eye. Like, nothing that I've ever posted of her looks like she has a black eye, and everything came back like normal, obviously. But it's like honestly just so sad that our family has to go through this, and that this is happening because of internet trolls. Like, it's ridiculous.
I know the blur is a bit weird. I just wanted you guys to be able to see the eye. Now, according to Alex, this is actually some eczema that she is developing, which I guess is kind of common with babies. Looking at this, I can see how people would think that would look like bruising. You know, not like hella bruising, like, you know, like she just took a right hook or nothing, but a little bit of bruising, like maybe she accidentally hit her eye or run into a corner or something like that. And you do hear quite often about her having little bruises on her, especially at this age. I don't think anyone thought this kid was getting beat or anything, you know. I think a lot of people thought that she was falling a lot because she wasn't being watched the way she should have been. Now, through all of these calls, they were originally in Chicago for the birth. They were there for a month or two, I think. Moved back to Florida. I believe they broke up when she moved back to Florida and moved in with his parents. But they have just been on again, off again so much that I honestly haven't kept up with it. Or like, I can't keep up with it.
Come on, I can't take it anymore.
In December 2023, CPS was not called on her this time, just the cops.
Here, and apparently someone online is trying to get me arrested or something, for indecent exposure, because I posted a photo yesterday of me and Ari on the driveway, and I was wearing a towel on my chair. You couldn't even see anything. You could see more at the beach. And the fact that I keep getting harassed like this is just fucking awful, and it's not fair, and I don't know what I need to do to make it stop.
So this was the picture that the cops came out to her house for. As you can see, the tatas are tatying, and she has no pants on, and it's just the tuna towel.
Wait, what?
Yes, somehow I've made it 40 something minutes into this video, and I have not mentioned the tuna towel yet.
Now, get ready for the boom!
So Alex likes to not wear pants, I guess, because she just finds it easier for them to just put a shirt on her instead of put a shirt and pants on her. So she will just put a towel on her seat, and she calls it her tuna towel.
Oh, that's nasty.
Which is gross, but also it's kind of funny. I find it pretty funny. But according to an interview with one of her caregivers that we're going to go over here in just a little bit, she actually will do this in public as well. Listen, I am a big supporter of wearing no pants in the comfort of your own home. But when you go out in public, it doesn't matter your disability. It does not matter the fact that you're in a chair and you think no one can see. It's just not appropriate. Now, no charges were ever brought with this, but this was definitely worth mentioning. Okay, so now I want to talk about some of the beef between Alex and the Dad Challenge podcast. So DCP started covering her about a year and a half ago, and it really only took one video for her to catch wind of it, and she did not have a good response.
It was just this man made a video about me, I saw it just like a bad fucking time, and half the shit he says is just like ridiculous anyways. I don't know why I'm like this upset about it. I'm pretty sure I've had some pretty intense postpartum depression that I never really...
No, you didn't. Because you would have exploited that situation on your channel 100 times.
He's not wrong.
So Alex was obviously feeling attacked by him and called out. Now, I don't really consume his content. In fact, I didn't know his channel existed until doing research for this video. But from what I've seen, he calls out family bloggers, and I don't disagree with that. But Alex clearly does, because in response to this video, she posted a petition that she found to get the Dad Challenge podcast taken down. It really didn't seem to bother him, obviously. In fact, he said he signed his own petition, which, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So he actually ends up doing 2 interviews, one with an ex-caregiver named Hannah of Alex's, and one with her baby daddy, Noah. And this interview with Hannah dropped some major bombshells, but also not anything that people were super surprised about. A lot of it was confirming what people were thinking already. Now, Hannah only worked for Alex for about a month. Alex said she fired her for breach of contract, which isn't true because she never even signed a contract, nor did she sign an NDA, which is why she could do this interview. A lot of people find it funny that she requires her caregivers to sign an NDA.
What are you hiding?
Now, according to Hannah, Alex told her the whole reason she was hiring another caregiver is because Noah was Baker acted.
So when I first started, Gammy was there for 2 weeks. So in the beginning, I didn't meet Noah for about a week or two actually. What happened was when I first started, Gammy was living on her couch for 2 weeks. She flew in from Chicago because as soon as they moved into that apartment, Noah was Baker acted. He was high off drugs. He slammed a hole into her wall, punched a hole in her wall. Daryl, his father, came and patched it up. And then he got sent off, Baker acted. He went.
Now, this all happened before you started?
Yes, because this is what Alex told me over the phone.
Okay. And she told you this over the phone just to say, so maybe like, hey, fair warning, it's a little bit chaotic here. Is that why she told you this stuff?
Well, she just says, that's why I need a caregiver. Gammy can't do much because she has a bad back. So that's why I need a caregiver now. I see.
Okay. So he was Baker acted. He left the place. Gammy's there, but Gammy couldn't do anything, so she's got to hire you.
According to Hannah, she actually found the ad on Craigslist and they communicated and she said, okay, you can come here for a 3-hour trial run, which all of that just feels so sketchy. Like you're inviting somebody into your home. Hannah seems like a nice person, but she's not a licensed caregiver. You're inviting a stranger into your home with your child, and if something happens, you are in no position to defend yourself or your kid. Legitimately, the only thing she could do is dial 911 if she had her phone. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact of her being so casual about hiring someone whose entire job is going to be taking care of you and your child.
Man, I don't understand people.
Anywho, so Josh had asked her of what her opinion was of Alex before she started, and she actually had a pretty high opinion of her. She didn't follow her before she saw the ad, but once she talked to her and Alex told her how she was a social media influencer and that would also be part of the job, she looked her up and she said she just thought she was beautiful and strong and doing everything she can for her daughter, and she had a really high opinion of her. But that quickly changed 3 days in.
Shifted. When did like the scales fall off your eyes and when did you start seeing the real Alex?
Day 3, on February 20th, 2024. I worked 9 to 1 for her. Then I went to my second job, 2 to 6. She called me and said Gammy was drunk. Also texted me that Gammy was drunk, her mother. And Alex was drunk at the Rivertail restaurant. And with that, I went there. I rushed at 6:30.
Let me stop you. I'm sorry. Let me stop you for a second. She's drunk at a restaurant. Gammy's drunk at the apartment. Where's Ari?
In the apartment with Gammy.
Okay, that's super sketchy and sus. That's not safe.
Why do you think I rushed to get there?
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank God you did. So what happened after that?
So as soon as I get there, she's eating mac and cheese, drinking at the restaurant. She says she has to use the bathroom. As soon as we do that, I try to get her to the bathroom. She pees all over me.
Sorry. Let's get this story straight. So she calls you to come take care of her, not Ari. You get to the restaurant and she pees on you.
Yes.
But she called you to come to a restaurant because she had to use the bathroom?
Yes, because Gammy was upstairs drunk and she wouldn't help her. They were having a fight. So as soon as I get there, I get her to the bathroom and then she pees all over me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. That's crazy.
Now, Hannah basically confirms what everyone was thinking before this, that Alex and her mother are alcoholics.
So that's a scary part. That's a scary thing. So she's obviously drunk, and this is the 3rd day. Up to this point, had you seen her drunk?
She's drunk in the morning.
Okay, so she's a day drinker, and she drinks all day long. It sounds like what you're telling me is that she literally drinks from morning to night.
Yes.
So she's always okay.
Alex gets it from her mom, you know. That's why Alex drinks. Her mom needs serious help. I told Gammy, you need help, and she needs to go to rehab. You know, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Another thing I found interesting about her interview is her impressions of Noah and how she actually felt threatened by him.
Now let's get on to Noah a little bit. What was your first impression of Noah?
Noah is unpredictable. His personality, he can flip a switch one moment and the next moment you don't know what he's going to do. He's the real wild card between the two.
Do you ever feel threatened around him?
Yes, especially with his police record.
What she's saying about Noah really tracks for BPD. How he can just switch on a dime. I mean, granted, if he's also doing drugs, that probably makes it a lot worse, especially depending on what he's using. And I truly believe that it made her nervous to be around him. Granted, it doesn't sound like anyone else in that household is any better than he is.
When Noah came back, he came back the day I had to leave for my second job. He came back about within like a week and a half, because it was that week, 1 week to a 2 week mark. He came back, called, we were at a restaurant. And what happened was I had to leave for my second job. So from what Alex told me, he went upstairs with the baby back up to the apartment. Once Gammy was there, because Gammy was trying to get Alex to get a restraining order against him and get custody of Ari. So whenever, I know, it's crazy. Whenever they go back to the apartment.
While he's living there.
No, he wasn't living there because he was Baker acted.
He was Baker acted. Okay, so during the Baker acted area, this whole debacle, Gammy's trying to be like, okay, now he's gone. Let's figure out a way to get this legally separated.
Yes, so he was pressing Alex during that time, and Alex was talking to Noah when she wasn't around.
So she was listening. She wasn't listening to Gammy, but Gammy was thinking she was. But she was secretly talking to Noah.
Yeah, so whenever Noah comes into the apartment, Gammy punches him in the face.
She punched him in the face.
Yes, and then the police were called that day. But that's what Alex told me. I was not there to witness it because I was at my second job.
Gammy sounds real nice. Gam.
She is a character.
In Gammy's defense, she thought she was defending her daughter, but still. That's on Alex for lying to her mother and then not telling her that Noah's coming back. You can tell that Hannah does not have a very high opinion of her mother, though. Now, Hannah told a story about the baby's birthday party that was pretty shocking to hear.
But what really scared me was the birthday party on March 9th, 2024.
This is when everything changed, right? This is when things really went down. Walk me through the entire day. Start at the beginning.
So I'm going to pick up the cake. And so everybody's upstairs getting ready for this party. The balloons, the food, everything's getting ordered from Publix. So whenever I get there, I'm putting the cake in the fridge. People start coming up. There's confetti everywhere. So there's gold confetti on the floor, which is fine. It's a party. I understand. I'm putting the cake in the fridge. Alex is so busy entertaining. I'm bringing people up the elevator because we're like on the top floor. We are on the roof of the building. And what happens is when I'm bringing people up, putting the cake in the fridge, she's so busy drinking and entertaining her guests, she wasn't paying attention to Ari. Ari choked on gold confetti and threw up all over her birthday dress.
Now, she goes on to say that Alex did not blame her because that was technically not one of her responsibilities with working the birthday party, and DCP actually has receipts of that. But one thing that I want to point out is, yes, Alex was supposed to be watching her, but there were apparently other babies at that party, and she was down with the other babies on the floor, running around, crawling around, doing what babies do. Where were all the other adults? What were all the other mothers doing when this baby choked on this gold confetti? I mean, honestly, it could have been any one of those babies. It just happened to be Alex's baby.
Said what I said.
I guess the gold confetti was from the balloons, and the balloons were supposed to have the confetti in it, and I don't know if it fell out or it popped, but when that happened, it should have been swept up.
As a discussion, period.
So there was a lot of backlash on Alex after this interview, so she decided to make a rebuttal video, and it was just really weird.
Weird? Like, weird how?
She had her and her new caregiver sitting, I think, in the lobby of her apartment building, or I don't know wherever it is, there is an insane echo, and they don't have mics on, so the audio is terrible, but she has this new caregiver talking for her and talking about situations where she wasn't even there for, she wasn't even working for Alex at the time.
During the birthday party was to watch Ari, that Alex was in charge of greeting the guests, doing whatever she had to attend to the party, do this, do that, as long with Noah. And she was hired to come to the party just to pretty much keep an eye on Ari so that the adults could adult. And that Ari had choked on a little piece of gold confetti that was on the ground for her party. and that Noah's sister's friend had been the one to come up to Alex and let her know that Ari was choking on something. And when they did look for Hannah, she was mingling with Alex's friends and family, as well as not watching over Ari.
Okay, cool. Because let's go back to the text message. As well as keeping everything organized as guests arrive. Obviously, I want you to have fun and enjoy it as well.
You can see Alex just sitting there nodding along. She does talk a little bit throughout the video, but not a whole lot, honestly. She has her caregiver do most of the talking. And she got a good amount of backlash for this video for just that, because it just felt weird. Alex is just looking really smug in the video, and you can tell she really thinks that they're doing something, that they're sticking it to Hannah.
Take that, you little bitch.
But really, they're mostly confirming everything she said, but twisting it to blame it on her. I got this clip from the Dad Challenge podcast because the video is actually taken down now because of the backlash. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down below and a link to a playlist I found with all of the videos he has made on wheelchair Rapunzel. Now, in that same video, he also reacts to an Instagram story she did where she, again, just talked a little bit more about her side of things. And the couple things I found really interesting is she completely denies that Hannah ever had to pour her any high noons or alcohol at all.
Oh, I put out your cups in the morning? Yes. Any previous caregivers that I've ever had know I have like coffee, a smoothie, a Gatorade, a water typically. And when she said, and a high noon, that's a fucking lie. Straight up lie. Like, I've never had her in the morning say, hey, Hannah, could you actually put me a high noon with my morning smoothie?
Sure, Jan.
People have seen enough lives of hers to know that she drinks a lot, so not many people believed her on this.
You're a drunk.
Another thing I found interesting was Alex's response to Hannah's claims that she felt threatened by Noah.
She was scared of Noah.
Yeah.
Poked you?
Like with 3 fingers, shoved it right here, and it knocked me back, but like it was hard, like it hurt, like really bad.
On the shoulder there?
Yeah.
If you guys were in my house and you saw what went on, there was one day I asked her to help me hang something up in my room because I'm just moving. I wanted to make my room look cute. Mm-hmm. And she's on this step stool. She's tall as shit, too. She's tall, very tall. And she said, oh my God, Mama, could you come and lift me so I can reach this? Like, essentially flirting with him.
2 fingers? 3 fingers? He pushed you?
Right here.
Got you?
Right
there?
There? And you shoved it like hard where I fell back in my wheelchair. And she had done that multiple times, and she's like, don't worry, Alex, I'm not looking at your man. And I'm like, we're not together, but this is a very odd comment to make.
Hannah commented on that. So she said, a friend texted me and said she posted something on her story saying I was flirting with Noah, just a joke. He is the last person on the planet I would ever flirt with. He's disgusting, and I'm not attracted to criminals.
So that body cam footage is actually very new. Noah posted it onto his Instagram recently. I put those clips in there not to make fun of the situation, because a DV situation is not something we should joke about, but to show the hypocrisy of her making fun of Hannah for being scared of Noah, when Noah has a known drug problem, has BPD, has erratic behavior, has been known to punch holes in walls, kick in doors. He has been Baker acted. So yes, she had every right to be scared of Noah. Now, after she took down the video with her and her caretaker, she ends up posting this video announcing that she is no longer going to be putting her daughter on the internet.
I wanted to hop on here and make a video. Obviously, you guys have seen that I deleted the video of Selena and I just because it was just caused a lot of hate and the comments were negative and everyone was saying, well, she's talking for you the entire time.
That's not what happened. It's exactly what happened.
And that was because basically I was just like very distraught over the whole thing. And I was just like in my head, like mentally not very okay. And
Not surprising.
And she decided to help me kind of put this video out in an effort to clarify some of these things that have been out on the internet about Noah, Ari, my former caregiver, etc.
Several days later.
Yeah, that only lasted a few days. So over the next few months, she kind of goes back and forth with posting her daughter and not posting her daughter. At one point, she said she was keeping her offline again, but then people found out she wasn't even living with her. She was living with her parents.
Hey guys, I'm just hopping on here to give you guys a little update since everyone is so very weirdly concerned about where my daughter is. Someone that
I love how she says weirdly concerned, like people are weird when she's the one who has shown her daughter since obviously before she was born, whole pregnancy journey, the entire time she's been growing up. People are invested and people, you know, they care about her and they don't want to see a kid hurt or in a bad situation.
used to associate with posted that he spotted my daughter and confirmed she is in Illinois. So now that it's out there and clearly the internet is like obsessed with this information. Yes, Ari is visiting my parents in Illinois. As the internet probably already knows, I'm an only child. Ari is their only grandchild, and they wanted to spend time with her, and Ari loves them so much, and they don't get to see her nearly enough, so she is visiting with them, with family and friends.
You say so.
Okay, so we are going to start pushing into 2025, the events that happened this year, and it's been a lot. Okay, at the very end of 2024, she visited her family for Christmas and the holidays, and she left her daughter with them. Now, from what I've seen, it seems like she was getting more depressed, more into her addiction, and she was pushing her OnlyFans content a lot more, where before you would see a post every now and then, or she would mention it, and now it was becoming much more frequent, so it seems like maybe she needed more money.
Oh, give me money, 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 money.
And then she posted a couple of concerning TikToks where it seems like she's just drunk crying into the camera.
I gotta pay someone to wipe my ass. I also gotta pay them to plug in my wheelchair at night or else I can't go anywhere. I also gotta pay them to put my daughter on my lap because she's 2 and I'm disabled and I can't do it. Gotta pay them to shave my armpits too. That is probably the hardest part about being disabled. Having to pay to get your ass wiped. Not even kidding. Sometimes it's just a bit much to handle. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Oh, damn.
Now, after this, a situation with a fellow TikToker named Dylan was exposed by him when her and him were supposed to collab. I'm not too sure if it was just going to be TikTok or TikTok and OnlyFans. But he started live streaming when he got to her apartment because she was hammered.
I saw that one coming.
And he was pissed because she promised to pay for his parking and I think help her gas. And he gets there and she's just drunk and she's not able to pay him for that.
Saying I posted and I filled your drink, you spilled your drink, you keep asking to fill up alcohol. I'm trying to collab and make a video for you to just post me once. And you're not doing that.
Dylan, you need to, I know what you want to do. You want to kind of like...
I'm wanting a collab is all I'm wanting. How? How can you help me with more visibility? You're saying you have all these fans and all these followers. How though? You're not...
You know I do.
Then explain to me how it would benefit me.
I mean... Like, I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, you're a...
I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed pretty boy. I know that. I don't need to... I know that.
Right, and so am I.
I'm saying I'm a boy.
Well, I'm a girl, and I'm disabled.
Okay, well, there's been a lot of beef and controversy anyways with everything, so I'm trying to figure out the whole cause of the situation. And I'm just inspecting, seeing the beer cans everywhere, seeing everything out. It looks like no one gives a fuck about you. They're using you. You're allowing it to happen. You're deep in addiction. And no one's giving a fuck or trying to help you and get you into a place.
The video itself is much longer, so you guys can go watch that on his channel, or the Dad Podcast channel also does a reaction to it. But either way, that's kind of the gist of what happened, and after they left, they actually called for a welfare check on her.
She's disabled.
What condition she currently has, and
It's something with her neck.
Yeah, and she's a raging alcoholic, but we just kind of wanted to have a welfare check on her. Well, she's a raging alcoholic, and she tends, for some reason, her caregivers tend to leave her alone at times. And while we were in the presence,
she has SMA.
She has SMA.
Is what the chat's saying.
So we just want to make sure she's okay.
She's incapable, drunk, alone.
Yeah, she's an incapable drunk who's alone and not able to take care of herself. Her caregivers are not.
She's throwing up a lot.
So
could vomit and choke on her vomit.
Yes.
I'm gonna be super honest. The video of him live streaming and recording everything of their interaction really gives me bad vibes. I don't know if it's just because of the fact that she is in a position where she legitimately cannot defend herself, even if she wanted to or if she needed to, and there's these strange men in her home who are angry at her. And you can say they had a right to be angry at her, that's fine, but they kept saying like they're trying to help her, but then they're also yelling at her, and it felt really weird to me, and that's just my opinion. But Alex does post a response video to this, and she does show some receipts that what he's saying wasn't exactly true.
I am listening.
Now, what was true is they were supposed to meet up for a collab and film some TikToks together. And what was not true was that she didn't pay him. She actually showed the receipt of her sending him $50. Now, maybe he said he needed more money.
Pay me my money!
So he posted a video. I immediately was like, please, please, please delete that. Like, I'm just going through a really rough time. Like, and he was essentially like, asking me to pay him to delete the videos. And he was like, pay me. He was like, I think he first started like $400. Here, let me pull up the screenshots. So here's him basically like, cash at me money, and then I'll delete the footage, or I'm gonna post more footage. The next day, I get a phone call that wakes me up because I blocked him on everything, and then this is him texting me, essentially admitting that he's blackmailing me, threatening me, saying he's gonna come for me, basically saying he's gonna essay me, and that same day he must have been on drugs. You could see he's like not clearly, spelling properly. He's saying he's gonna have someone come beat my ass. I waste his time. And then even though I had him blocked on everything, still continuing to harass me, and he did know where I live. So honestly, I don't know him. He has obviously a very bad drug problem, and I was very scared. As a disabled woman, I really don't have any defenses, and he's throwing out a ton of like physical harm threats to me. So yeah, I definitely was a bit nervous. And then I kept getting these requests, requesting me like to send him $100 to delete the videos and whatnot. And he said I didn't pay for his parking and whatnot, and gas and all that. I did send him $50. I'll show you the receipt of that. So when he said I didn't pay him and I promised to, that's a lie, because here is the $50 I sent him to get here. I think from Del Rey, which is like way more than enough money. But yeah, he wanted his 5 minutes of fame, posted the footage of me, kept talking about me, making videos about me, just basically trying to get as much views as he can out of this entire situation.
The comments aren't very good in that video. A lot of people seem to think she's lying, which she does have a history of it, so I can understand. But I don't know. I guess I just have to go with my gut on this one. And I don't think she's totally wrong. I think he is exploiting, or he was exploiting the situation to finally blow up on social media.
Guys, we're blowing up right now on this guy's account. What's his? The Dad Challenge Podcast. Go check it out on his channel. We're blowing up. We're gonna try and collab with him. This is our one shot to blow up. Blow it up. I just wanted to be clear that I just found her other account, this weird account, this second account or whatever. I did not know she was trying to make videos like this. I'm just seeing videos like this. Bro, this is what she was trying to do the whole time? Hell no. You got me fucked up. If you're part of the Alex Stacy lore, it's the tuna towel, guys. I found it.
Apparently those requests that he was sending her was for her to pay for the speeding ticket they got on the way there and parking, which she paid him $50. And I mean, I don't really think that's her responsibility to pay his speeding ticket. She didn't make that choice. Now, what was her responsibility was not getting hammered and not inviting strange men to your apartment when you have nobody else there with you.
You've got to feel so dumb.
Honestly, this situation could have gone so much worse. She's actually very lucky that it just ended up on social media and she was not physically hurt.
You are one lucky bug.
It does seem like this was a little bit of a wake-up call for her, because there was a couple posts of her saying and talking about being, 3 days sober, 6 days sober, like stuff like that. Okay, what also happened in March of 2025 is Noah did an interview with the Dad Challenge Podcast, but he actually did not give him the okay to post it until June of 2025. So the main thing that I want to talk about from this interview with Noah and Josh is he reveals that Alex has been committing disability fraud.
But also, I did want to touch on, because you brought something up, the disability. Not many people know this, but she's getting money from the state of Illinois and she doesn't live there.
Ooh, uh-oh. That's
known as Social Security fraud. Yeah.
How is she pulling that off, though, by living in Florida and at the same time pulling in six figures? Because isn't it like if you're I don't know if you just get disability no matter what, even though you make $1 million, let's say, but like it sounds like she's not even claiming the money she's bringing in, and she's doing disability fraud against the state of Illinois, which is a big deal.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Josh. And the way she was doing it is she was having her mom be the caregiver, and the mom would be getting the money, and then she would give the money to Alex.
So that what you just said is going to be the biggest bombshell so far, and people are going to be latching onto that. And so Alex doesn't want anybody to know this because obviously that could put her in prison.
Right. And she thinks because she's disabled, she won't go to prison. Like,
the prisons are, I think, are accessible. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure they're accessible.
Not as accessible as you would think, but we'll get to that later. I do find it funny that he is telling on her now when it's like, you clearly did not care when you were benefiting from her committing disability fraud. But I guess he figures she's trying to destroy his life and he'll do it right back to her. Okay, so by the end of April 2025, Alex does have her daughter back after 4 months of being apart. And then she actually moves back in with Noah and his parents. This living situation did not last very long because in June, the cops were called and DV charges were pressed on Noah. Alex was kicked out of Noah's parents' house and had to seek emergency housing with her daughter. Now, remember way back in the beginning of the video with her GoFundMes? Well, this was her last GoFundMe. She started one to help her get back to Chicago with her parents. And that's exactly what happened. Her and her daughter made it back to Chicago, and she is now living with her parents. There is currently a custody battle going on between her and Noah. Noah is trying to get a paternity test because he was actually never put on the birth certificate because when Ari was born, he was in rehab.
I'm a baby daddy. Of course, when I tell my daughter's mother I'm filing for paternity, she calls the cops on me and gets me arrested on false DV claims. I'm a baby daddy. Of course, I had to take my daughter's mother to court for my right to be a father. I'm a baby daddy. Of course, when I find a new girlfriend and try to move on with my life, baby mama tries to get a restraining order against me for alleged DV. I'm a baby daddy. Of course, my daughter's mother wants child support from me so she can go on lavish vacations and buy stuff for herself. I'm a baby daddy. Of course, I complain a lot about not having custody of my daughter, but it doesn't really matter because no one really gives a shit. I'm a baby daddy, and one day my daughter is going to find out the truth about everything, and baby mama's going to be really mad. I'm a baby daddy, and of course, since I played by the rules of the game, I'll most likely be able to be a grandfather and be in my daughter's life in the future because I never gave up.
Alex is still in Chicago with her parents and her daughter, and she is apparently sober, and one would think that this would be the ending for now, but it was exposed that back in April, just 6 days before her daughter moved back to Florida with her, she was in an inappropriate situation with a minor.
So the incident that occurred that is in question was regarding an incident that happened back at my apartment in Fort Lauderdale in April. So during this time, I really did not have a good caregiving situation. Selena was getting married, so she was really busy with that. I had another caregiver, and she wasn't always available. So there were a lot of times that I would go without care. And so I was drunk one night, came home to my apartment. I knew I wasn't going to have a caregiver to help me to bed that night. So I saw someone in my elevator in my building, and I asked them if they could help me, and they said yes. And obviously, we all know this is the incident where everyone's talking about the 13-year-old. At the time, I did not know his age. I knew he was probably a teenager, but with being disabled, my intentions were purely caregiving.
So according to the statement that the 13-year-old made to the police, she did in fact know his age. When they met in the elevator, she asked him about his age, the school system, and then of course helping her get into her apartment.
The person, he was very kind to me, said he would help me, and basically at that point I didn't have hair that day, so I was essentially sitting in pee. So I asked him to put me in a bathtub, so he did take off my dress and he put me in the bathtub. I told this to the police. This is all public record as well. And to me it wasn't weird because at the time, one, I was drunk and all I really wanted was to get pee off of me.
So when the cops first talked to Alex, she actually did not offer up the information about him helping her take a bath. It says she didn't know how old he really was. Alex stated that he helped her go to bed and she offered to pay him but never got contact information. She recalled his mother calling a lot and freaking out. So she told him to tell his mother her apartment number so she could see that he was helping her get in bed. Alex stated that she was already in bed by the time his mother came, but she was angry and said that he was only 13 years old. Alex told his mother that he only put her in bed and that he was super sweet and helpful. And what is also funny about this is she described herself as a single disabled mom who just needed someone to help. Her daughter wasn't even living with her at this point. So why are you bringing that up?
So he did not touch me or anything. He just took off my dress, put me in the bathtub, and I just sat there let my body kind of rinse off for a minute. Asked him to put me in my bed with my BiPAP on, and he did. He was very kind. At that point, his mom had been calling.
Now, what she's leaving out is she actually also asked him to go buy her beer. First, she asked him to just Uber Eats it for her, but he ended up ordering the wrong one, and what showed up was just a ginger beer. And then while she was in the bathtub, she asked him to go downstairs to a restaurant and get her a beer. But obviously, when he went down there, he was 13, and they were like, no. And again, all of this was not mentioned to the cops when she first talked to him. They had to come back and interview her again. I think it was on the same day, but still, she did not offer up any of this information.
His mom did come down when I was in my bed, so I didn't even see her or anything in her face. But she just started yelling at me, and she was very, very upset. That is when the next day, the police showed up to my apartment, questioned me. I told them the truth. I told them everything.
Again, she tried to lie at first. I just really want to point that out.
I got a call about my warrant, flew to Florida with some good friends of mine that were so supportive, and I essentially had to go in to turn myself in to get arrested, to get rid of the warrant. You have to do that, and then get bonded out. So I went there to do that. Scariest thing in my life. I didn't end up going to jail or getting processed the traditional way because they weren't equipped to handle someone with my type of disability. The judge ordered that I was to be released in my archivist and that my next hearing, I could attend on Zoom, which was the next hearing, which was maybe like a week ago, was for my plea. And so my plea was set into motion and accepted by the judge. And I attended that hearing on Zoom. And so I officially was charged with a misdemeanor. And I'm currently on probation.
After the warrant was issued, she had to fly back to Florida to turn herself in, and they were not equipped to deal with someone with her type of disability, so she didn't even have to go to jail. She just kind of hung out in the courtroom the whole time. They ordered that she could do the plea over Zoom the next time, and so next time she did plead guilty to a misdemeanor, and she is now on probation.
Damn!
So that is where we currently are with wheelchair Rapunzel, Alex Dacey. I do think being with her parents in Chicago is the best place for her. I know her parents have a lot of issues. Her mom is also claimed to be an alcoholic, but if she is clean and sober, maybe her mom is also doing that as well. Okay, so now I am going to give my final thoughts on Alex Dacey. So we've now gone through Alex Dacey's entire social media history, from when she first started posting on Instagram in 2017 to her party era, to her mommy blogger phase, and now her current felony charges. Throughout all of this, I feel like there's a pattern of entitlement in how she interacts with her caregivers, friends, and even family. I also feel like there's a lot of unresolved depression tied to watching other people care for her daughters in ways she physically cannot. She's a complicated person, and we have basically watched her hit rock bottom. It seems like she's trying to claw her way back from this. I'm not too sure if she can, but for her daughter's sake, I hope she does. This was a really long video, and it took a lot to find everything and try to put it together in a way that made sense. I did the best I could. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I got the timeline wrong in a few places. I know there's some things I probably forgot, some things that I chose not to put in here. So either way, I hope you liked it, and definitely tell me your opinions down in the comments. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you for this video. I hope you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.